Word has it, TikTok CEO is going to be on Capitol Hill this week to talk lawmakers out of voting to ban the app, which is tied to the Communist Party ahead of tomorrow's vote. And it's safe to say there are strong opinions on both sides of the aisle.
I despise TikTok, and I've spent hundreds of dollars just on drunk elephant at Sephora and other things because I have a tween. We must hold TikTok accountable.
We want TikTok to exist. We're not there to ban it. I've said we want to make it tic-tac-toe.
If you don't like TikTok, don't use them. But realize that in China, they've banned TikTok. So we're going to somehow defeat the Chinese model by becoming like the Chinese.
Joining us now, FreedomWorks chief economist and Committee to Unleash Prosperity co-founder Steve Moore. And the rumor is that Steve Moore is opposed to this bill. He's kind of siding for the first time on our show, at least, with China. Steve Moore. So let me ask you, I want to get your take on this because it's pretty clear that the Chinese Communist Party is getting data on U.S. users of TikTok. But not only that, China's smart. They don't allow Twitter or Facebook into China, but we're great free enterprise lovers by allowing TikTok, a Chinese app, into America? Explain.
Well, yeah, it's fun to be maybe for once being on the other side of an issue. I don't feel that strongly about it. I mean, I'm not an expert on this, but I do believe when you've got a product that's being used by 120 million Americans, there's something, that Americans really like about this product, including my wife, by the way, who is addicted to TikTok. And it's not because of, political stuff. She just likes gardening. She likes, interior design. She likes 80s music, that kind of thing. So it's a popular product. And to tell 120 million Americans, by the way, you can't have that, that's a pretty bold step by government. I agree. I think that was Rand Paul who was saying, look, if you don't like TikTok, turn it off. And if you're concerned about, the Chinese spying on you, turn it off. Or if you don't like their politics, turn it off. That's my kind of view. Look, I'm not an apologist by any means for the Chinese communist government. I think they're an adversary of the United States, so I am concerned about that. I just don't think banning it in the United States is the right choice.
The bill doesn't ban it, to be clear. The bill the bill does not ban it. ByteDance has to sell TikTok to an entity that is not a foreign adversary. Just like the guidelines that they lay out are in Title 10, just like our Defense Department is not allowed to acquire sensitive materials from non-allied foreign nations. That's the way the bill is written. It's a spinoff. And the Communist Party of China, to be clear, because they control the algorithm, they will never relinquish that. And so they're using a pressure campaign, the CCP, via ByteDance, via all these people here in the United States, to put the hammer down on people in Washington to get their way. This is a national security issue. All this bill does is says if ByteDance doesn't sell TikTok, it's not a ban, then it will be removed from app stores in the United States by September 30th. They spy on Americans. This is a cyber espionage threat. They use political influence campaigns and indoctrination. And quite frankly, Steve, I'm surprised that you let your wife on it because they're gathering information about where you are. And that's the Communist Party of China.
All right, let's let him respond. Let's give him a chance.
This is reciprocity. It's about time that we lay down the law with Communist China.
This is a Steve Moore beatdown. Respond, Steve.
So I've known Dagan for 20 years. It's very rare that we disagree, and I know you feel passionately about this, and you make a strong case. Look, I think the point is that the people who I know that are involved with TikTok are saying, look, it's not feasible right now to disentangle from China, precisely because of the technology and the various patents that they have. But ultimately, I would like to see that happen. I think I would like to see this become a company that's owned by Americans. But everything you were saying, though, Dagan, about they're being involved in politics and disinformation, that could apply to a lot of American social media platforms as well.
It can.
They're not communist, and they don't want to destroy the United States as China does.
Yeah, well, they act, sometimes they act like communists.
One word, COVID. 2 words, fentanyl.
That is up for debate whether they're not communists and want to destroy American social media.
Oh, come on, Sean.
Oh,
Give me
come
a
on.
break.
But I'll say this, Steve, quickly. We do ban crack, and we do
hold
ban fentanyl,
hold on.
and we
Dagan, I got to ask you guys this question. Do you guys use TikTok?
No.
Do you?
No. What about somebody like my wife who used to, she's not political, she just wants the recipes, she wants the entertainment. You saying she can't get it?
Yeah, but she's helping the Chinese in the process, Steve. And if it's a national security threat, we have to make a decision as Americans to go, we are not going to give China one up on us. Again, I don't love American social media apps, but I think they're better than China, and we have to recognize the threat and do something about it instead of sitting here passively and let them continue to collect Americans' data and push political issues onto the American people. But I want to move to this because there's always got to be one Democrat who turns everything, Steve, into a Trump conspiracy theory. Watch this.
My concerns are they'll try to influence the election and elect Donald TikTok Trump.
Come on, Steve. They're going to elect Joe Biden, who's soft on China. He's bought Joe Biden off. Donald Trump is putting tariffs on China. Give me a break.
Yeah, look, I mean, Trump is the first president in modern times who's recognized that China is an adversary to the United States. He's not soft on China. This guy is going to be tough as nails. The last thing the Communist Chinese in Beijing want is Donald Trump to be president. So I don't buy that at all.
Let's move on to the Federal Reserve, and I won't yell at you about this. I don't think that I wasn't yelling. I was just getting loud. It's different.
I'm teasing. Yeah.
They might not be lowering interest rates anytime soon. If you watch inflation as you do, CPI, consumer inflation coming in hotter than expected for the second month in a row. The Consumer Price Index not showing any signs of cooling, and that's hardship for every American, quite frankly, and everybody is so giddy about the Fed cutting rates. How do you see it?
Yeah. So I would like the people in the Federal Reserve Board and the people in the White House to maybe just go to a grocery store or go to a rental car agency or try to buy an airline ticket. I mean, the inflation problem is still very real. Americans are paying prices now that are about 20% higher than they were when Biden came into office. You're right, Dagan, that this new report that came out had 0.4% increase in, on an annualized basis, you're talking about 4.5% to 5% inflation. How is that? Why does that give license to the Fed where their interest rate inflation target is 2%? We're running at inflation closer to 4%. Why would they be cutting rates right now? And by the way, I like to look at commodity prices. Those are continuing to rise. I'm telling you, I said this a couple weeks ago on your show, this inflation dragon has not been slayed. It's the #1 issue other than the border right now with the American people, and they're not buying it. They think that prices are too high and because they pay them every day.
Prices are too high, Steve. Thanks for stepping into the kitchen. It got a little hot today, but we always appreciate seeing your smiling face. Join us on the bottom line.
Love being out with you guys. Thanks so much.
Until next time. Thanks, Steve.